The best healing operator debate is a relatively strong one. Their gadgets are extremely similar and 2 of them are part of the same unit. So today I'll be putting the healing operators up against each other to see which one is the best for your lineup. I'll be doing this by rating each operator in 4 key categories out of 10: loadout, secondary gadget, versatility, and then finally their gadget. At the end, I'll add up the total of all the categories to reach my verdict. So make sure you watch until the end to figure out who's the best. I'll be starting out the video with Doc. For his loadout, he comes with the MP5, P90, and the French shotgun as primary options. The MP5 is a moderate fire rate SMG with comparable damage, and in Doc's case, it has a 1.5. The P90 is his other SMG choice, which has a much faster fire rate, larger magazine size, and lower damage. Also like the MP5, his P90 has a 1.5. And then finally, the French shotgun is one of the best pump shotguns in the game. Its damage drop-off is pretty much unmatched by any other pump shotgun, and its fire rate is solid for it being a pump. Overall though, the MP5 is the best option competitively, at least in my opinion. It is the most versatile in all ranges. Also, its 1.5 and low recoil allows you to hit easy headshots. As for his secondary weapon, he comes equipped with the P9 and the Bailiff shotgun pistol. The P9 is a solid handgun with good damage and capacity, whereas the Bailiff is a good option for allowing him to set up the bomb site by making head holes and rotates. Overall, I'll be giving his loadout a 6 out of 10. His loadout is solid, especially since he has a secondary shotgun, but there isn't much to write home about here. Now to speak on his secondary gadgets. He has access to a bulletproof camera and barbed wire. Bulletproof cameras are nice for free intel, and barbed wire is a must-have on most bomb sites. But the secondary gadget options aren't crazy, they're just middle of the row, which is why I'll be rating his secondary gadgets at a 5 out of 10. Now to discuss arguably the most important part of any operator, the gadget. Doc's gadget is the stim pistol. This thing allows Doc to heal himself and his teammates for a total of 200 HP with a single shot. He can also revive himself and teammates with it, meaning that he can take a downed teammate and bring them all the way up to their maximum HP. This can allow Doc to make some major clutches and plays, and to take gunfights without fear. But Doc's one downfall is the one-shot headshot mechanic. Because of one-shot headshot existing, Doc is not guaranteed use out of his gadget. When he stims a teammate, that teammate could get domed, and then his stim has now gone to waste. Also, the reviving functionality of his stim is rarely able to be used because of the same reason. You will rarely find a situation where Doc is able to find a teammate who has been downed and then revive them before they get finished. Moreover, if Doc dies early before he can use his stims, then he also provides nothing to your team. But when his stims can be used, they can single-handedly win rounds. So overall, I'll be giving his gadget a 7 out of 10, but his versatility will only be getting a 4 out of 10. Because his gadget is really solid when it works, but it is extremely situational and you aren't guaranteed value out of it. Now to talk about Rook. Luckily, his loadout is exactly the same as Doc, so he won't have to speak long on that. He has access to the MP5, P90, French shotgun, and the P9 just the same as Doc. The only difference between Rook and Doc's loadout is that Doc gets the Bailiff and Rook gets the revolver as their secondary option. Overall, because of the fact that Rook doesn't have a shotgun to make rotates and head holes, I'll be giving his loadout a 5 out of 10. The primary options are still solid, but the fact he is missing the secondary shotgun brings him down a point. As for his secondary gadgets, he comes equipped with impact grenades and proximity alarms. I think impact grenades are the clear choice here, especially since he doesn't have a shotgun, but overall I think Doc's secondary gadgets are just better. Bulletproof cameras provide your team with a ton of intel, and barbed wire is needed on a lot of bomb sites, whereas Rook only really has impact grenades to go for. So I'll be giving Rook a 4 out of 10. His secondary gadget choices are alright, but they aren't great by any means. Now to discuss his gadget itself. Rook brings a pack of bulletproof vests for his entire team to wear. These vests give him and his teammates an additional 20 HP, and they allow anyone wearing them to revive themselves. Another small benefit of them to make their self-reviving mechanic better is his vest will guarantee that you go down unless you're a headshot. Now this may sound good to you on paper. Rook is allowed to give all of his teammates additional HP and the ability to self-revive. But once again, Rook suffers from the same issue as Doc. His gadget is extremely situational because one-shot headshot can make his gadget useless. So his gadget isn't guaranteed to give you value, and you are taking a huge gamble when picking him in your lineup. Because of this, I'll be giving his gadget a score of 6 out of 10 and his versatility a 5 out of 10. I think that since his gadget applies to his whole team, Rook is slightly more versatile than Doc, but I do think his gadget isn't nearly as strong. Okay, now for the final operator of this video, we will be discussing Thunderbird. Thunderbird's loadout consists of the Spear 308 and the Spaz 15 as primary options. The spear is the clear choice here. It is an attacker assault rifle on defense, which is always incredibly strong. It has good damage, solid fire rate, and a good magazine size for a defender these days. As for her secondaries, she has the choice between the Bearing 9 machine pistol and the Q929 handgun. Once again, the choice is pretty clear here. The Bearing 9 is one of the best secondary submachine guns in the game. It has a good fire rate, good damage, and decent recoil for a secondary SMG. Overall, her loadout has the most lethality out of everyone in this video, and so I'll be giving her loadout an 8 out of 10. I still think it could be better, but it is still a great loadout. Now to discuss her secondary gadgets. She has the choice between a nitro cell or impact grenades. The nitro cell is one of the best secondary gadgets because it allows you to shut down plants or to get free kills from below. Impacts are also solid if you need to make rotates or if you want to impact trick. Overall, because of her having such solid options, I'll be giving her a 7 out of 10 for her secondary gadgets. This leaves us with one final thing, her gadget itself. Her gadget is the Kona Station. These are small devices that when anyone, including attackers, walk into their radius, they will be healed for a small amount. When these things are stacked together in a small area, a defender can easily fully heal themselves. One advantage of her gadget compared to Doc is that she doesn't have to be alive to heal her team, and that her gadget works passively. So kind of like Rook, she doesn't have to do anything other than set up her gadget in the prep phase. This gives her a real edge, but her one downside is that she can't heal a defender for nearly as much as Doc. Another massive difference between her and Doc is the skill gap. You actually have to think about your Kona Station placements when playing Thunderbird. You can't put them outside the bomb site because the attackers will be able to use them against you, and you can't put them out in the open because your teammates won't be able to safely get to your stations without being shot. So I'll be giving her gadget a 4 out of 10 and her versatility a 6 out of 10. I don't think her gadget has the same potential as Doc or Rook, but her Konas are way more consistent at giving you value than something like Rook's armor plates or Doc's stim pistol. Now to answer the question, which is the best healing operator? Well, let's get to the scores. Coming in third place is Rook with a score of 20 out of 40. Rook's gadget isn't terrible, but with it being as situational as it is, it's really hard to rate him any higher than this. Second place goes to my beloved Doc with a score of 22 out of 40. Doc is one of my favorite operators to play because of his gadget being so fun. But objectively, his gadget is super situational and it requires him to stay alive to get the most out of it. So that is why I couldn't put him in first place. Now to discuss the winner of this video, which you already know is Thunderbird. She comes in with a score of 25 out of 40. Her far superior loadout and secondary gadget is really what allowed her to edge this one out. Her spear is a monster, and paired with a secondary machine pistol and a nitro cell, it really makes her a lethal force. Her gadget is solid as well and allows for some more consistent value compared to Rook and Doc, so I think she is rightfully in first place. Before I go, let me know whether or not you agree with me in the comments down below. Who do you think is the best healer in Rainbow Six Siege right now? Let me know. If you enjoyed today's video, it would mean the world to me if you would consider subscribing. I'm trying to hit 3K subs and we are super close to hitting that goal, so your sub will make a difference. If I haven't earned your sub yet, that is totally fine. You can go and watch this video and hopefully it will change your mind. I'll see you next time, friends, and peace.